Delighted to cross to Rosarito, Mexico, where we're joined by our friend Thomas Markle, the father of the Duchess.
What if the 6-year age discrepancy wasn't Meghan's lie? It was Thomas Markle's revenge weapon, perfectly timed to detonate when she was most vulnerable. The real weapon wasn't a 1997 magazine listing. It was teaching the world that every royal document could be retroactively questioned. While everyone debates whether she's 42 or 48, they're missing the calculated assassination, a father weaponizing bureaucratic doubt against his own daughter. This isn't about age. It's about making truth itself negotiable.
That Harry and Meghan might end up suing you for something you say, given you know they're very friendly with their lawyers, aren't they?
Well, they can sue me, but what are they going to...
Forget the tabloid obsession with Hollywood age shaving. This is documentary warfare between blood relatives. The players aren't gossips. They're combatants in a credibility war where birth certificates become battlegrounds. When Thomas Markle pointed to that 1997 17 magazine listing Meghan as 21, he wasn't exposing a lie. He was planting a virus in the monarchy's operating system.
Told me a lie. Every single thing that she has said about either you or Meghan has checked out.
The real battlefield isn't Meghan's actual age. It's the weaponization of archival inconsistency against institutional credibility. Thomas understood something devastating. In the digital age, one contradictory document can unravel decades of carefully constructed narrative.
Harry has made a direct complaint about Samantha's Twitter account.
Yes, that's the understanding that apparently he knows the person who runs.
Here's what changes everything. The palace's own precedent with Archie's amended birth certificate, names appearing and disappearing, had already established that royal documents were fluid. Thomas didn't need to prove Meghan lied. He just needed to show that proof itself had become unreliable. The institution that runs on paperwork was about to choke on it. The strategic miscalculation happened when Meghan allowed Archie's birth certificate to be amended. Rachel Meghan vanishing into Her Royal Highness seemed like tidying protocol, but she'd just validated the principle that royal documents could be posthumously edited. Thomas Markle, watching from Mexico, recognized the gift she'd handed him. Think about the timing. Years of estrangement, missed weddings, public humiliation. Then suddenly Thomas starts mentioning inconsistencies in Meghan's timeline, not emotional attacks, documentary observations. He understood that in reputation warfare, the most devastating weapon isn't accusation but ambiguity. The 17 magazine mention, Meghan listed as 21 in 1997, wasn't discovered by Thomas. It was discovered by internet sleuths. But Thomas's confirmation gave it legitimacy. A random internet finding is conspiracy. A father's confirmation is testimony. He'd transformed digital speculation into familial verification. Here's the genius. Thomas never claimed certainty. He just said, the math doesn't add up. That's not defamation, that's arithmetic. He created what intelligence operatives call cascade doubt, one questionable detail that makes everything questionable. The Northwestern alumni photos showing Meghan with classmates now in their mid-50s? Thomas didn't need to explain them. He just needed to point to them. Every image became evidence not of lying, but of possibility. He'd weaponized uncertainty itself, knowing that in modern media, questions spread faster than answers. Every subsequent revelation accelerated the strategic strangulation. When fans found alumni lists suggesting different birth years, when reunion photos showed age gaps, when old acquaintances mentioned discrepancies, each became ammunition Thomas never had to fire himself. He'd lit the fuse and walked away. Consider the response pattern. Meghan's silence, not denial, not confirmation, nothing. But silence in the face of specific documentary evidence reads as consciousness of guilt. Thomas knew this. He'd counted on it. Every day she didn't respond, the question calcified into assumption. Meanwhile, the palace faced an impossible position. Defend Meghan, and they'd have to produce documents they'd already shown could be amended. Stay silent and let doubt flourish. Thomas had created what negotiators call a dominated strategy. Every move worsens your position. The masterstroke was connecting this to Archie's birth certificate amendment. By highlighting that precedent, Thomas made every royal document suspect. If names could vanish from official records, why not years from birth certificates? He'd weaponized the palace's own flexibility against them. Here's the psychological brilliance. Thomas made Meghan's Hollywood survival strategy, age adjustment, into evidence of deeper deception. What might have been dismissed as industry standard became proof of pathological dishonesty. He understood that context transforms meaning. The cascade effect was devastating. Fashion magazines started hedging her age. Netflix documentaries added reportedly before biographical details. Even sympathetic outlets began using claims to be language. Thomas had achieved something remarkable. He'd made his daughter's entire existence require fact-checking, not through grand revelation, but through mathematical doubt. This exploits our fundamental need for chronological coherence. Humans organize reality through timeline: birth, childhood, adolescence, adulthood. When someone's timeline becomes questionable, their entire identity destabilizes. Thomas weaponized this cognitive requirement against his own daughter. The aha moment comes when you realize the age question was never about vanity. It was about establishing that nothing about Meghan could be verified. If her age was fluid, then her degrees were questionable, her relationships were suspect, her entire narrative was performance. Thomas had made his daughter epistemologically impossible. Think about the trap. If Meghan admits age adjustment, she confirms deception about something fundamental. If she denies it but can't explain the discrepancies, she looks like she's lying now. If she stays silent, she appears guilty. Thomas had created what game theorists call a pure strategy domination. No winning moves exist. The psychological warfare was exquisite. Meghan had built her brand on authenticity, telling her truth, breaking royal silence. But Thomas made that authenticity impossible to verify. Every claim she made now required documentation she might not have or might not trust. Here's what nobody discusses. This technique comes from custody battles. When parents can't attack directly, they create documentary confusion that makes the other parent seem unreliable. Thomas had imported family court tactics into royal warfare. The Northwestern photos were the psychological kill shot. Seeing Meghan among clearly older peers made viewers question their own perception. Were they seeing age difference or just diverse friend groups? That uncertainty, that moment of visual doubt, was Thomas's true victory. He'd made people distrust their own eyes when looking at his daughter. When palace insiders admitted the age debate drove them crazy, they revealed the strategy's success. The monarchy that survived centuries through documentation was being destroyed by documentary doubt. Who won the long game? Thomas Markle, through pure paternal nihilism. While Meghan built empires and Harry defended her, Thomas achieved something neither palace nor press could. He made his daughter unknowable, not through exposure but through uncertainty multiplication. The institutional patience versus individual rage played out predictably. The palace waited, knowing documentary confusion would compound. Meghan stayed silent, knowing response would escalate. But Thomas had infinite patience. He'd already lost everything. A man with nothing to lose playing against people with everything to protect always wins. What transformed a magazine listing into existential crisis wasn't the discrepancy, but the source confirming it. Palace enemies are expected. Press attacks are routine. But when your own father questions your fundamental truth, that penetrates every defense. Thomas knew this. He'd counted on it. This template will replicate everywhere. Family members weaponizing documentary inconsistencies against relatives who've achieved success. We'll see it in inheritance battles, custody fights, celebrity feuds. The lesson is devastating. Your greatest vulnerability isn't your enemies, but your blood. The strategy will appear next in tech dynasty battles, family business conflicts, generational wealth disputes. Not attacking directly, but creating timeline confusion that makes everything questionable. In an age of digital records, archival inconsistency becomes arsenal. Future celebrities now understand every document discrepancy is future ammunition for discarded family. The Hollywood practice of age adjustment, resume enhancement, narrative smoothing, all become weapons when family members turn hostile. Media organizations learned the perfect formula: find documentary inconsistencies, get biological relatives to confirm doubts, watch targets twist in silence. Thomas Markle demonstrated that family verification transforms speculation into story. The Meghan age controversy created a reproducible blueprint. Locate archival discrepancies, have blood relatives question them publicly, let silence amplify uncertainty, watch institutional credibility crumble. It's particularly effective against those who've abandoned family for fame. Corporate dynasties are already studying this. The ability to make successful relatives epistemologically unstable through documentary doubt is the ultimate leveling tool. Success means nothing if your basic facts become questionable. In your own life, when family members question your basic facts publicly, recognize the deeper game. They're not seeking truth, they're creating uncertainty that follows you forever. The goal isn't proving you lied, but making truth unprovable. If you're building public success, understand, every documentary inconsistency is future family ammunition. That adjusted resume, that enhanced timeline, that improved narrative, all become weapons if relationships sour. Document everything or face documentary warfare. When dealing with a strange family, remember, they have credibility you can't counter. Your denial sounds defensive, your silence sounds guilty, your evidence sounds desperate. The only defense is preventing the attack through maintained relationships or perfect documentation. The ultimate lesson: in reputation warfare, blood relatives are nuclear weapons because society assumes they know truths others don't. Thomas Markle didn't prove Meghan lied about her age. He proved something worse, that we'll never know for certain. Sometimes the cruelest thing a parent can do isn't abandoning their child, but making them unknowable.